Welcome back, y'all, to Carbon Scoring, the best place for comics history and action figures. We're going to take a look at the latest MCU movie, Black Widow, and do it through the lens of the action figures from the film. Hasbro gave us every main character from the movie, so we're going to go one by one and talk about how they were portrayed in the film, the good, and honestly, the very little bad. I'm going to keep it spoiler-free, but still dig into why this film works. Hint, it's because we care about the characters. This is a fantastic action film. It has some of the best choreographed sequences in any Marvel film, and they're in broad daylight, so you can totally follow the action. But at its heart, this movie works as a family dramedy. These four are a dysfunctional group, but make no mistake, they are a family, with all the love, tears, and laughs that go along with that. So sit back, and let's enjoy this review of Marvel's Black Widow. Let's start with the big dog, the Black Widow herself. It's not a criticism when I say that Natasha is the least interesting character in the film. This is partly due to how great her co-stars are, and partly because we know this character so well. ScarJo has become Natasha Romanoff, and she slides back into the bodysuit effortlessly. This film takes place right after Civil War, and you instantly see where her mindset is. Her opening scene reinforces why she is such a badass without her even having to throw a punch. We see the emotional family journey of the film through her eyes, and I love going from the heaviness at the beginning to the honest joy at the end. Plus, let's face it, ScarJo is a very attractive woman, but the film never caters to gratuitous sexiness. She's a badass because she's a badass. I mean, just look at that half smirk perfectly captured on this figure. Next up is David Harbour as Red Guardian. I can't stress enough how hard it is to play these roles without having them devolve into parody. Cough, DC movies, cough. Alexei here begins with clear loyalty to the party over his makeshift family that he's been assigned. He's selfish, arrogant, and a little insecure in his role. But he also manages to be a little goofy funny while not becoming a goofball. And that's no mean feat. There's a particular scene where he's actually trying to live into the father role with Yelena, but you can feel the true hurt when she jabs back at his superhero persona. Y'all, this guy's a good actor, truly enjoyable to watch. Plus, this figure's facial scan is on point, both with and without the mask. Rachel Weisz as the matriarch Melina Vostokov is so great because of her subtlety. They take this lovely London-born actress and completely transform her into a hardened Soviet agent. And I swear, it's all in the eyebrows. If there was an Oscar for best eyebrow acting, she wins hands down. As with any good movie, the characters grow and change emotionally as they go through the film. And Melina's growth is consistent, subtle, and in the end, the key factor, the glue of the family, just as all mothers are. She also has a particularly hilarious one-liner at the end of the film, delivered in that deadpan, stoic Soviet way. I like the fact that you weren't sure where she stood throughout most of the film. It's one of the things that the MCU does best. They don't just stand on formula, they let the heart of the characters guide their actions. So many superhero movies seem like the characters are just moving from one action sequence to another. MCU movies feel like the action sequences are the things that happen in between the actual lives of the characters. Let's tackle our villain, and yes, there were air quotes there in case you missed it. Clearly, Taskmaster is going to be the most controversial part of the film for comic purists. I get that. But they kept the key aspect of Taskmaster as a character, the fact that this villain has photographic reflexes and can mimic any fighting style he sees. Watch closely the Taskmaster fight scenes. There are some scenes that are shot-for-shot reproductions of the Black Widow-Hawkeye fight from the first Avengers film, and again, frame-by-frame reproductions of Captain America fights. Even the camera angles are the same. I love this kind of respect for prior films, but also how this reinforces the power set that Taskmaster has. I'm looking forward to watching it again to try and pick up on more of these, and please let me know what y'all saw in the movie. This character has a twist surprise that I won't spoil here, and while it wasn't my favorite, I can certainly understand its purpose in the story narrative. Now for the utter star of the film, Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova. I hate that this is the worst figure that we got. She's way too tall, but it would have taken all new tooling to produce a figure with Pugh's petite, athletic frame. Yelena steals every scene she is in. Her Russian accented English makes all of her deadpan lines hit with that much more humor. But as the youngest member of the family, she becomes the emotional core that brings everything together. Plus, while that vest looks totally crappy on this figure, it is maybe my favorite part of the whole movie. In fact, I'd bet $1 that Pugh's lines about the vest were totally improvised. They have such a natural humor and delivery. God, I love this character, and I cannot wait to see her play an even bigger role in the MCU moving forward. She is the cockeyed skeptic every team needs. I took my kids to see the movie, and afterwards we were talking about it, and I said, I thought it was really good, but not the best. My oldest daughter fully disagreed. She said I didn't get it because I don't have a sister. She thought the movie was fabulous because of the interaction between Natasha and Yelena was so perfectly done as a big sister, little sister story. She thought it was amazing and has it ranked as one of her favorite Marvel movies because of this. It made me rethink it as a family movie, particularly putting myself in the Red Guardian dad role. And you know what? She may be right. You can have great action scenes, you can have surprise twists, cool costumes, and badass villains. But for a movie to succeed, it's gotta have heart. Black Widow comes through as a dysfunctional family drama with genuinely funny and touching moments, wrapped in a spy thriller. It's another winner for the MCU, and hey, the action figures are pretty great as well. Thanks for watching, and check out all the other great stuff brought to you from Carbon Scoring.